January 2026 is not just another date on the calendar for travelers. It marks one of the biggest global shifts in airport rules, passport checks, and travel enforcement that most people don't see coming. And the problem isn't that these rules are secret, it's that most travelers assume nothing has changed. They book flights the same way, carry the same documents, arrive at the airport with the same habits, and only realize something is wrong when it's already too late. People are being denied boarding, passengers are being pulled aside at check-in, entire trips are being canceled before the first security checkpoint. Not because of visas or criminal records, but because of paperwork mistakes, outdated assumptions, and rules that quietly went into effect. Because starting January 2026, airports are no longer forgiving places. Airlines are enforcing rules earlier, immigration systems are becoming digital, and your passport is being checked more closely than ever before, often before you even reach the gate. Let's start with the most important change that is catching travelers off guard. The idea that your passport only needs to be valid until the end of your trip is officially dead. Many travelers still believe that if their passport expires a few weeks after they return home, they're safe. That assumption is now one of the fastest ways to get turned away at the airport. As of January 2026, the 6-month passport validity rule is being enforced more aggressively across international travel. That means your passport must be valid for at least 6 months beyond your date of arrival in many countries. Not departure, not return, but arrival. Airlines are now required to check this before boarding. If your passport doesn't meet the requirement, immigration won't even need to deny you entry, because the airline won't let you fly in the first place. And airlines don't make exceptions. It doesn't matter if you've flown before with less validity. It doesn't matter if immigration let it slide last time. Systems are automated now. Check-in software flags expiration dates instantly. Once it's flagged, the staff cannot override it. Then there's another passport issue most people ignore until it's too late: blank pages. Even in 2026, several countries still require 1 or 2 completely blank passport pages for entry stamps or visas. Digital borders haven't eliminated this requirement everywhere. If your passport is full, even if it's still valid, you can be denied boarding. Airlines are checking this more carefully because fines for transporting ineligible passengers have increased. Now let's talk about names, because this is where thousands of travelers get trapped every year. Your ticket name must match your passport exactly. Not approximately, not close enough, exactly. Middle names, spacing, spelling, and order all matter. In 2026, airlines are using automated identity verification systems that cross-check booking details against passport data. Even small mismatches can trigger secondary screening or denial at check-in. This is especially dangerous for travelers who recently changed their name, use initials, or book tickets through third-party websites that auto-format names incorrectly. What used to be fixed at the counter is now often locked by system rules. Next comes a rule that affects millions of travelers but still feels invisible: the rise of biometric verification. Starting in 2026, airports around the world are expanding facial recognition, fingerprint scanning, and automated border gates. This isn't optional anymore. In many countries, biometric capture is now part of the entry process, even for short stays. Your face becomes your boarding pass. Your fingerprint becomes your entry stamp. But here's the catch: biometric systems only work if your passport data is clean, readable, and compatible. Damaged passports, worn photo pages, or older biometric chips can cause failures. When the system fails, you don't just get delayed, you get questioned. And questioning at the border is never something you want to rush. This is also where dual citizenship rules become critical. Several countries now require dual nationals to enter and exit using a specific passport. If you hold 2 passports and show the wrong one at check-in or immigration, you can be denied boarding or entry. Airlines are enforcing this because biometric systems are linked to nationality records. Mixing passports creates data conflicts. Now, let's move to airport security rules, because January 2026 changes how identification is handled before you even think about immigration. In some countries, including the United States, domestic airport security now enforces stricter ID requirements. Travelers without compliant identification may face additional verification steps, fees, or outright denial. What used to be extra screening is becoming no travel. Airports are shifting responsibility to passengers. If your ID doesn't meet standards, the delay is on you. And delays can mean missed flights. Another major change in 2026 is how transit passengers are treated. Many travelers assume that if they're just passing through an airport, the rules don't apply to them. That assumption is dangerous. Transit rules are being tightened, especially in major international hubs. Some countries have eased transit visa requirements, while others have strengthened document checks. Airlines are responsible for verifying that you qualify for transit before you board your first flight. If your documents don't meet transit rules, you won't even leave your departure airport. Now let's talk about Europe. because this is where the biggest structural change is happening. The European entry-exit system is replacing traditional passport stamping with digital tracking. Your entry and exit are recorded electronically. Your biometrics are stored. Overstays are calculated automatically. There is no human discretion once the system is active. This means two things. First, overstaying, even by one day, becomes visible permanently. Second, border officers rely on the system, not your explanation. If the system flags an issue, you're delayed, questioned, or refused. For frequent travelers, this is a massive shift. You can no longer rely on faded stamps or unclear timelines. The system knows exactly how long you stayed. Another overlooked change is how airlines handle responsibility. In 2026, airlines face heavier penalties for transporting passengers who are denied entry. As a result, airlines are enforcing immigration rules at check-in more strictly than ever before. This means immigration decisions are effectively happening at the departure airport. If an airline believes you might be denied entry, they won't let you board. This includes unclear return tickets, insufficient documentation, mismatched passport details, or unclear visa status. You may be perfectly legal to enter, but if the airline isn't convinced, your trip ends at the counter. Now let's address digital documents. Digital boarding passes, mobile passports, and travel apps are expanding, but they are not universal replacements. In 2026, physical passports are still required for international travel. Some airports accept digital credentials as supplements, but not substitutes. Relying solely on your phone is a risk. Phones die, apps crash, systems don't sync, and when they fail, the airport doesn't wait. Another issue travelers underestimate is passport condition. Bent covers, peeling pages, water damage, faded photos, these can all cause rejection. Automated readers struggle with damaged documents, and if a passport can't be scanned, it's treated as suspicious. Now let's talk about timing. Arriving early is no longer a suggestion, it's a requirement. With biometric checks, digital systems, and stricter enforcement, processing times are unpredictable. One system error can delay dozens of passengers. Missing your flight because you arrived like always is becoming common. So what does all of this mean? It means travel in 2026 is less flexible, less forgiving, and more system-driven than ever before. Human discretion is being replaced by automated rules, and automated rules don't care about excuses. But here's the good news. If you prepare properly, travel is smoother than ever. Faster security, shorter immigration lines, fewer manual checks. The system rewards travelers who follow the rules perfectly. Another change that many travelers underestimate is how early enforcement now begins in the travel process. In 2026, your journey is effectively screened the moment you book your ticket. Airlines are increasingly connected to immigration databases, visa validation systems, and passport verification tools. This means errors can surface days or even weeks before your flight. Emails requesting document verification, sudden booking holds, or requests to upload passport copies are no longer optional steps. Ignoring them can result in automatic cancellation or denial at check-in. This is especially important for travelers who book through third-party platforms. While these platforms offer convenience and lower prices, they also increase the risk of data mismatch. A missing surname, an extra space, or an incorrect order of names can propagate through multiple systems. By the time you arrive at the airport, the issue may be locked into the airline's back-end, with no authority on site able to change it. Families traveling with children face another layer of scrutiny. Child passports, which often have shorter validity periods, are now a common reason for denied boarding. Parents frequently assume that because a child's passport was issued recently, it must still be valid. In reality, many child passports expire much sooner than adult ones. In 2026, airlines are no longer lenient about this. If the passport expires too soon, even by a few weeks, the child will not be allowed to travel, and neither will the accompanying parent. Consent requirements are also tightening. When a child travels with only one parent or guardian, some countries now require documented proof of consent from the other parent. While this rule existed before, enforcement is increasing due to stricter child protection and trafficking prevention measures. Immigration officers are trained to flag inconsistencies, and airlines are increasingly asking for documentation at check-in to avoid liability later. Another quiet but significant change involves return and onward travel proof. Many countries require travelers to show evidence that they intend to leave within the allowed period. In the past, a verbal explanation might have been enough. In 2026, it usually isn't. Airlines are asking for confirmed return tickets or onward bookings before issuing boarding passes. Flexible travel plans are becoming harder to explain without documentation. This affects digital nomads, backpackers, and long-term travelers the most. If your travel style relies on open-ended plans, you now need to plan defensively. A missing return ticket can end your journey before it begins, not because immigration rejected you, but because the airline refused to take the risk. Health documentation is another evolving area. While pandemic-era restrictions have eased, some destinations still require proof of specific vaccinations or health declarations. In 2026, these requirements are often embedded into digital pre-clearance systems. If you fail to complete them online before arrival, you may face delays, additional screening, or denial of entry. Airlines increasingly check for completion during online check-in, and missing confirmations can block boarding passes from being issued. Then there's luggage, and how it ties into identification. In some airports, biometric systems now link checked baggage to passenger identity. If your identity verification fails at security or immigration, your bags may be automatically flagged or held. This can lead to situations where passengers are cleared, but luggage is delayed, or worse, passengers are denied travel while their bags are already in transit. This level of integration means mistakes cascade faster than ever. One document issue can affect multiple systems simultaneously. Fixing it becomes exponentially harder once the process has started. Another issue travelers don't expect is how much discretion has shifted away from frontline staff. In 2026, many airport employees are bound by system decisions. Even if a staff member understands your situation and wants to help, they may be unable to override automated blocks. This can feel frustrating, but it reflects a broader shift towards standardized enforcement. The system doesn't negotiate. This is why preparation now matters more than persuasion. Being polite, calm, and cooperative is still important, but it won't replace missing documents or invalid passports. Frequent flyers are not immune to these changes. In fact, they are sometimes more vulnerable because familiarity breeds assumptions. Just because you've flown the same route multiple times doesn't mean the rules haven't changed. Automated systems don't recognize loyalty or past compliance. They only see current eligibility. Another emerging issue is passport renewal timing. Many travelers wait until the last minute to renew, assuming processing will be quick. In 2026, demand surges and administrative backlogs mean renewal delays are common. Emergency appointments are harder to secure. Some travelers find themselves holding expired passports with valid visas they can no longer use. Airlines do not accept renewal receipts or appointment confirmations as substitutes. And then there's the final, often ignored factor: human error under stress. Airports are already stressful environments. Add tighter rules, stricter enforcement, and unfamiliar systems, and mistakes become more likely. That's why preparation should happen days or weeks before travel, not the night before. Because once you reach the airport, the system is already in control. The reality of travel in 2026 is simple but unforgiving. Airports are no longer places where rules are interpreted. They are places where rules are executed. Every document you carry, every detail you submit, and every assumption you make is tested against automated systems designed to prevent risk, not accommodate exceptions. The good news is that travelers who understand this new reality experience smoother journeys than ever before. Lines move faster, borders process quicker, delays are fewer, if everything is correct. Check your passport validity, 6 months minimum. Check blank pages. Ensure your ticket name matches exactly. Confirm visa and transit rules for every country on your route. Carry physical documents even if you use digital ones. Arrive earlier than you think you need to. And never assume it worked last time means it will work again. Airports are no longer places where problems are fixed. They are places where problems are enforced. And the difference between boarding and being turned away often comes down to one overlooked detail. If this video helped you, make sure you stay informed, double check before you travel, and share this with someone who's flying soon. Because in 2026, ignorance is no longer an excuse airports accept. Safe travels.